mentioned earlier, with Quinn Lester's the first player in Division 1A history to have 3 interceptions in a game. The school record's 4, but that was prior to turning 1A. So he holds the record now for interceptions. So, Coach, whenever you're ready, why don't you open up the statement and then we'll take questions.
Well, yeah, just very proud, to say to our team, that to congratulate them again, second week in a row. To be able to go out there against a very good, talented football team in Western Michigan and to secure that win. And for our seniors, I've said to our seniors, you guys have fought through a lot over the years, and I know how hard it is. And they were very emotional. But that's a good thing because it matters to this team and it matters to our players that they went out there and secured this win today. From all 3 phases, I said they all fed off each other. We saw great things from the offensive side, the defensive side, special teams, and I really couldn't be more proud of the way our kids, really embraced all 3 areas and came out big today. It's always tough because, we had 2 offensive players, Devin Campbell and Bo Oliver. I don't know exactly where their status is, but, we'll know a little bit more tomorrow as we get a little bit closer to talking to our training staff from that standpoint. But, the guy that I was really proud of is a guy who didn't play last week was Courtney Lester. I mean, he comes up big with some key interceptions in the game. I mean, Alex Nuts, tremendous job. Joe came in there, 285 yards of total offense. Just really did a fantastic job. The offensive line, Devin, had over 100 yards in the game. Just really overall, it was just a tremendous team victory. And that's why I brought the game ball. I told him if I could cut this up in 105 pieces, I would. But we're going to sign this one and, and really let them know that this was a real signature win from our standpoint, being able to cross over against the West Division, a Western Michigan team who played in a bowl game last year. And that's what it's all about, securing the win and, and doing it by all the guys and putting a tremendous effort in. So with that, I'll open up any questions.
Okay, I mean, they did a great job shutting down, and part of it was the injury to Bo. I'm sure they, shutting down the running game, emphasized in the second half. I mean, what Joe did with the passing game was vital, I thought, for you guys to be able to pull that out.
Absolutely, and that's why it's a team game. You've got a lot of facets in your, in your offense. You need to make sure that you run the ball, and if teams are ganging up a little bit on the run game, you got to be able to throw the ball. Our receivers did a great job possessing the pass, and the offensive line blocked. I thought Joe managed the game extremely well. He showed a lot tonight that it matters to him, and it's certainly going to be something that we're going to consider. We have to. That's the way it goes. And I think it's important that we just enjoy this victory, 24 hours, and we'll get back to making decisions about personnel when that time expires. So we'll have more information for you as the week progresses.
Jeff, do you see him though when he, you go back to the first half last week and he looked like a redshirt freshman. As the game went along, he got more comfortable. It seemed like he picked up where last game ended and continued almost with every series. There were times he was under duress. It didn't seem to bother him that he is kind of getting it on the fly here very quickly.
Yeah, very poised young man. When you look at the coaching, Don Patterson, a quarterback coach, Alex Wood, my offensive coordinator, what a fantastic job those 2 gentlemen have done. Being able to, to develop a game plan, to best suit a guy like Joe in there, controlling the offense and managing extremely well. But that's why we recruited him. And that's a beautiful part of this. Just seeing these young men go out there and perform. And like you said, I thought he got out of a couple tough situations, was able to elude the rush from that standpoint, and he showed a lot to our football team. That he is definitely a guy that can help us win football games.
Are you seeing signs? Sometimes it's not always easy to see from the outside. Are you seeing signs of real progress? In other words, I'm not just talking about getting a little bit better every week. I mean, now you're it's just so important to start stacking wins together to show real progress, and maybe people will actually notice.
Well, and you can only do them 1 week at a time, Bucky. You know, I mean, that's what we tell them, right?
Have you seen it, though?
And oh, absolutely. You know, I know it's hard to see it externally. You know, I've seen it internally. And what's the beautiful part of this is I've watched this team, you know, just keep digging and keep fighting. And they're a resilient group of young men, and I couldn't be more proud of them. And being responsible teammates. I keep talking to them about that, being a responsible teammate by going out there and preparing and performing and competing, and that's how you secure wins. And now what we have to do is be able to take that next step and go on the road one more week. And we're only going to take it 1 day, 1 week at a time, and be able to play against UMass. And I know they're coming off a big win. So, you know, it's important for us to continue to grow. But you can't, you know, that's why I always tell them, look, you can't win the game on one play. You got to win it on a collection of plays and series by series, offense, defense, special teams. And they're starting to see how important that is to dig deep and play 4 quarters of football and to secure the win, because that was as good of a team win as I've been a part of here.
When you look at it, I mean, this is a school year, obviously. When you see growth, you look at a kid who's now a junior, you know, he came in as a freshman. I mean, you're seeing signs of real growth. Is that accurate? I'm not seeing things right.
No, 12 seniors, you know, and you look at 12 seniors leaving. I mean, you look at the players out there really doing the body of work, and the volume of work is a lot of juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, true freshmen. You know, and that's a great sign, because now these kids are starting to get that success and get that taste of what it takes. And once you start to go down that road and you know what it takes and what level of intensity and physical and mental toughness it takes, and then you're rewarded with a win, that builds a tremendous amount of confidence. And I've seen this team grow. We've been close. I've said it. We've been knocking on the door. We busted down another one today, and that just adds to what this process is all about. It takes time, you bet. You know, and here maybe it takes a little bit longer, but we're starting to see that start to unfold. And I know all you folks have seen our football program, the way they work, the way they conduct their business, the way they represent in a positive manner, and now they're starting to get those rewards. And it's exciting, because that locker room was in great spirits tonight. And I've had to stand in front of them many times. We're trying to explain to them, you know, just stick to the plan. We have the plan. We know what we're doing. We have the right people. We have the right plan. Just prepare that plan and go out there and perform, and you'll secure some wins. And once you do, that's what it's all about.
Jeff, early in the year, in the Kent State game, you lose Bo. It seemed to sort of deflate the team a little bit. Well, here today, you lose Bo and you lose a 17-point lead. What was the difference between early in the year and what happened today?
Well, it's a great point, because, you know, they came out in the second half too, you know, and they took the lead. You know, we scored 3 times, 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and then they had 3 unanswered touchdowns. You know, and it was important for us to maintain our poise and composure, and that's what we were able to do. We kicked 2 field goals. We got close. We had a couple turnovers. We didn't convert them into touchdowns, but that was the beauty of a great kicker like Pat Clark. And to be able to deliver and get us 6 points in those key and critical situations, and then they came back with a field goal, and then, you know, obviously the throw to Alex, I mean, was a great move by Alex, and, you know, Joe just put the right touch on it, and just brought us a great deal of confidence. We went for 2 in that situation, as we know, but, you know, you got to just keep finding ways to get those kids that are sitting in that backup role and understanding how important they are to the overall scope of this football team. That's why we have the next bowl in. And guys like Bo goes down against a Kent State, hey, we've been there before. You know, we don't flinch. That's not what we're about. That's not who we are. We don't get rattled. We just strengthen our forces together, and we come closer together, and we fight for one another. And they understand that, and they did that today. And, you know, and then, boom, Devin went down, and boom, Brandon Meary's in there. So, you know, it just speaks volume to the character of our kids, and it reveals true character. Football doesn't build character, in my opinion. It reveals it, and our kids have tremendous character.
You blow a 17-0 lead, 3 straight touchdowns. A year ago, did you lose that game?
I could only speak to today. I don't, listen, we all know, and I can appreciate what you're asking there. But what happened last year was last year. I'm so past that, and our team is, and that's what we.
I'm talking about the maturity.
Yeah, well, exactly. You bring up a good point because that's what we learn from. You learn from that, and I think our kids understand that. That's the beauty of it. What I found out tonight is that they can persevere and they can fight through, and they showed a tremendous amount of responsibility and maturity as a team, and to be able to pull this win off. What happened last year? Yeah, maybe we don't win those games. You're right. We didn't. But today we did. We faced some adversity out there tonight as a football team, as a coaching staff, and our kids. I could still feel the energy, the focus, and the determination and the passion. That's what I came here to do. To bring that kind of mentality here and that kind of philosophy, and they were able to do it. So what's happened in the past, they've learned from it. Now what we have to do is grow and develop and move forward as we get through this 24-hour period and enjoy it. I'd like to enjoy it a little bit. As you guys know, they're hard to come by, right? These are tough games to win, and I couldn't be more proud.
The Jake Stockman sack and forced fumble play, can you talk about it a little bit, particularly in light of he gets the penalty a couple of plays earlier than that?
Yeah.
I mean, is that in your mind maybe the key play in this whole game?
Well, I told the team, the most aggressive team wins. I didn't mean all those yellow flags out there today. I mean, it was crazy. But, and they just kept doing it. And Jake Stockman's been a tremendous player. He's always been in the right place. He's a very smart individual. Lou always says to me he's probably one of the brightest players he's coached. That speaks volume because Lou's coached a lot of players in his time. And Jake took a tremendous advantage of that moment. We talk about pursuit, and you're going to be rewarded. And he was able to create a turnover, and and obviously for us, it's a great lift to our sidelines. We have been kind of, our takeaways have been minimal. And then tonight, it was incredible. So somebody had said, does it come in bunches? About a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I'll just take one. I don't need a bunch. But now today, it definitely. It does come in bunches, and today was great moments for our defense to be able to take the ball away.
Coach, what more do you need to see out of Joe for him to be your starting quarterback, whether it's next week or moving forward?
I like where Joe's at right now. He's really made a strong statement, and that's important. Believe me, I notice. We're going to play all the best players, and Joe's a very, very talented young man, and we're going to count on him. And we're going to try to continue bringing Alex Zordich back, and along with Tony Daniel, those are the guys. Those guys have done a tremendous job. But Joe, again, he really stepped up his game tonight, and I think everyone appreciates that in this locker room and in this team.
You shed any light on the Devin? In that situation anymore than.
Yeah, they just he got hit pretty hard, and he was numb. He was just really tensed up. But he was able to get him off the field, and then they obviously they're doing more extensive checking on him. So hopefully our prayers go out to him and make sure that he's okay. That's number one, his health and well-being. And then see where he's at in terms of being able to come back. I'm not as concerned about that other than his health and well-being. All right, thank you.